Ready to go? And we'll do Spanish after, if someone's here from the Spanish stations. All right, so before we start, what I want to say is, obviously, we're less than 24 hours from this tragedy. And so I'm going to tell you what I know as I've been briefed. Things can change, and they may change as this investigation continues to unfold. But as a department and as a family, we are devastated. Last night, we lost a brother, a hero. Officer Darren Burks was a son, a nephew, a friend to many, and he was senselessly and tragically murdered in the line of duty. We came close to losing other officers who put their lives on the line to protect their brother, and it is by the grace of God they are still with us today. Our officers were targeted for nothing more than the uniform they wear and for the brave and honorable job that they do. I do want to make something clear. I know that the word ambush has been thrown around in the last 24 hours or so. That's not what happened here. Officer Burks was executed. Our preliminary investigation has determined that on Thursday, August 29th at 10:02 p.m., the suspect, identified as 30-year-old Corey Cobb Bay, a black male, arrived in the 900 block of East Ledbetter Drive and parked his white Buick. At 10:04, Officer Burks arrived at the location and parked near the front entrance of the building between call assignments. Cobb Bay approached Officer Burks and talked with him briefly through the driver's side window as he recorded the encounter with a cell phone. The suspect then pulled out a handgun and executed Officer Burks as he sat in his vehicle. At this point, a police dispatcher noticed an unusual transmission from Officer Burks' radio. The dispatcher attempted to contact Officer Burks, who did not respond. The dispatcher located Officer Burks via his GPS location and sent officers to check on him. Meanwhile, the suspect went back to his vehicle and took out a shotgun, goes back to Officer Burks' squad car, placing the weapon on the roof. At 10:11 p.m., Senior Corporal Jamie Farmer responded, pulled into the parking lot, and the suspect immediately encountered and fired a handgun at Officer Farmer. Officer Farmer returned fire and ran across the parking lot. The suspect grabbed the shotgun from the top of the squad car and fired one time towards Officer Farmer, who continued running. Officer Farmer was hit once in the leg. At 10:12 p.m., Senior Corporal Carissa David arrived and positioned her squad car at the entrance of the parking lot. The suspect ran towards Officer David and shot at her multiple times as she exited her vehicle. Officer David returned fire, but was shot in the face during the exchange. Officer Burks and Senior Corporal Farmer and David were taken to local hospital where Officer Burks died from his injuries. After Senior Corporal David was shot, a sergeant arrived on scene and saw the suspect standing near his vehicle. The officer directed the next arriving patrol element to follow the suspect, who fled westbound on East Ledbetter and then northbound onto I-35. Patrol pursued the suspect into Louisville, and Cobb Bay came to a stop on the expressway just north of Highway 121 and exited his vehicle with the shotgun in his left hand. The suspect approached the officers and pointed the shotgun at them. Officers Nathaniel Baker, David Lem, Corey Reed, Richard Pace, Vladimir Perez, and Joel Portillo all fired their department-issued firearms, striking the suspect multiple times. Cobb Bay died at the scene, and no officers were injured in this exchange of gunfire. Senior Corporal Farmer was treated and released from the hospital today, and Senior Corporal David remains in critical but stable condition. At the Louisville scene, 2 shotguns were recovered. At the Ledbetter scene, a .22 caliber handgun was recovered, along with the 9mm handgun used by the suspect. The Dallas Police Special Investigations Unit responded in investigating the incident. The Dallas County District Attorney responded and is conducting an independent investigation. The Office of Community Police Oversight was notified. As I said earlier, our officers were targeted by this coward. Our detectives have learned from social media that 3 days ago, Cop Bay approached an unmarked squad car of an unknown law enforcement agency and recorded as he questioned the officers about why they were parked there. He expressed problems with his personal and professional life online. And 1 day ago, he made a post indicating an event was happening on Friday. The investigation determined last night was premeditated, again for no other reason than the uniform we wear, that my men and women proudly wear, and for the brave and honorable job our men and women do each day. And it was brave and honorable work done last night. From our dispatcher who knew something wasn't right while listening to a radio transmission, he followed his training and protocol, sending help to our officer when he needed it most. To our 2 injured officers who engaged, showing true bravery while looking evil right in the face, responding to help their fellow officer. To the officers involved on our second scene, knowing the risks, pursuing a dangerous, violent criminal who just took the life of their brother officer and who injured others. And to our fallen officer, Officer Darren Burks, we will never forget his sacrifice. Our department is hurting. We're grieving the loss of our brother. And while we stand behind and support his loved ones and our injured brother and sister officer who are in their own fight after this senseless evil act. But despite our hurt, despite our grief, as a department, as a city, and as a family, we will keep fighting. We will not be deterred from our mission. Fighting for our fallen, for what is right, and for this city. We honor our fallen and our injured heroes by continuing our mission every day. Yes, we have tough days ahead, but we will get through it as we always do, together and as a law enforcement family. Earlier today, I visited with Senior Corporal Farmer, who miraculously was released from the hospital today. He was in great spirits. I also visited with Senior Corporal David, who is fighting and has a long road to recovery. And I also visited Burke's mother, who is a beautiful, strong woman of faith. We hugged each other, we cried together, but I assured her that we will be with her every step of the way, and that her son will be remembered as a hero. Also visited 3rd Watch, South Central, which Officer Burks was a member of, and assured them that anything they need in regard to their mental wellness, the department is here for them. They are hurting, as we all are, but passed on the message to them as we did to the rest of our department that we need to take care of themselves and each other. Before I open up to questions, Interim City Manager Tolbert has a few comments to say.
Thank you, Chief Garcia. And I also want to take the opportunity to thank the members of the Dallas City Council for being here with us today. On behalf of our entire City of Dallas family, today we are mourning with you, our brothers and our sisters of the Dallas Police Department. You bravely put your lives on the line every single day to serve and to protect us. Last night, Officer Darren Burks paid the ultimate sacrifice in a senseless act of violence. To Officer Burks' mother and his extended family, though we offer you prayers of comfort, we cannot begin to comprehend the pain that you are going through right now. But we will wrap our arms around you as you navigate this difficult journey. To Senior Corporal Farmer and Senior Corporal David, and to their families, we are praying for you and for your continued recovery. To the men and women of the Dallas Police Department, you are not alone. We will continue to stand beside you and to support you for all the days to come. God bless you, and God bless the City of Dallas. I will now read a statement from Mayor Eric Johnson, who is unable to be with us today because he is still isolating with COVID. Dallas has suffered a great tragedy. Officer Darren Burge truly was a hero. As a teacher and a Dallas police officer, he lived his life in service to others, to all of us. He dedicated himself to giving us a better, smarter world and a safer city. And last night, he made the ultimate sacrifice. He made Dallas a better place. Today, we grieve alongside his family, and we pray for the swift recovery of our 2 wounded officers. In Dallas, we put safety first, and we stand firm against violent criminals. Our police officers courageously risk their lives every day so the rest of us can sleep peacefully. An attack against them is nothing short of an attack on our city, our families, and our way of life. During this difficult time, we must come together and support each other as we honor our fallen. We will never forget the sacrifice of these 3 officers as we continue their fight to keep our community safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Interim City Manager Tolbert. 2 things. Number 1, we'll be releasing body-worn camera footage or dash cam footage of the final encounter with the suspect on Monday. We will not be releasing the surveillance video that depicts the execution before anyone asks. With that, I'll open up to questions. Becca.
Chief, this is the first officer that has died in the line of duty that you actually, I believe, pinned his badge on it. Can you talk about that in that moment?
Yeah, I mean, it hurts. I gave him his badge. I've been seeing a picture circulating around of me shaking his hand with his badge. He was so proud. And so, of course it hurts. As I tell my recruits, I tell folks all the time, if you do this job long enough, you're gonna laugh together, you're gonna bleed together, you're gonna cry together. And yeah, again, there's a briefing room, a detail room full of officers that are hurting, that worked with him. I'm sure there's an academy class that's hurting, as well as the rest of the department. So, you ask your men and women to do a job for the city, they do it, and yeah, you carry that. I carry that. But I don't know what else to say. It hurts.
Chief, when it comes to the suspect or the gunman's digital footprint, can you please speak to any possibility of him belonging to the Moorish Sovereign Citizens group? Did he also leave any kind of manifesto other than what you just explained to us? And can you say if there was a woman with him in the car?
I'll take your last question now. There's no indication there's a woman with him in the car. Yes, there's evidence that he's part of this Moorish sovereign citizen. We're less than 24 hours into this, and so that will come out. We're scouring through his social media to see if we can find anything that's similar to some sort of type of manifesto. We did ask that question earlier in the briefing when I was briefed on it. But again, the importance of this was to get the information that we know out as quickly as possible. But as that information comes forward, I can guarantee you we will be transparent with it if we do find something.
I was out at Ledbetter last night, so I understand there's still a lot of questions. So the suspect was parked there first, and then the officer parked there. That's my first question. Who arrived first?
Let's go one at a time.
Okay.
Your first question.
That's
The
first
suspect
question.
was parked there. Yes. First.
And then the officer parked there.
Yes.
For just waiting for his next call, or why?
Yes. Waiting for his next call.
Okay. And did they have any previous? Did they not know each other, or the suspect just
We have no evidence, we have no evidence at this time to think that they knew each other.
Okay.
What's your second one? Yeah, another one.
No, that was two.
That was it? Okay.
The order of them arriving in the parking lot.
All right.
Chief, community outreach, officers sharing a meal with the youth at a rec center. You're doing everything you can to bridge, this gap with the community and in this. How do you continue?
We continue to do our jobs. Certainly, the act of one individual does not paint a community. We don't paint a community with a broad brush. The act of one criminal individual certainly doesn't speak to the volumes of texts and calls that I've gotten from members of that community offering their condolences. Not too dissimilar when individuals that wear a uniform such as ours do something atrocious. We also don't want to get painted with a broad brush. And so we're going to continue to fight hard with our community. When I go to community meetings, I tell you, there's not a community in a neighborhood in the city of Dallas impacted by violent crime that, regardless of language spoken, racial makeup, or economic status, has ever asked for less police officers in their neighborhood. This city, this community supports its police department. They support the Dallas Police Department. We support them. And they're going to stay along with us. And we'll keep continuing what we have to do with our community. We are not going to stop. We will not be deterred to take the violent criminal element off our streets, but we will continue to work just as hard to ensure that our trust is built, and our community will meet us there.
Chief, you mentioned the video where he approached the unmarked vehicles on Facebook, or the unmarked vehicle, and talked to officers. This was a similar encounter where he was filming Officer Burks. Do you guys know what that conversation was that they had before he opened fire?
Not at this time. We haven't, again, we're very early in this, trying to go through what the video says. Obviously, it appears to me he was trying to lull the officers some sense of security. It is, it's about I've been a cop for a long time. It's one of the most brutal, one of the brutal cop killings that I have seen in my career.
Do you know how long they were maybe speaking before he opened fire? Was it
A matter of seconds.
Corporal David, you said that you went to at least see her.
Yes.
Is she able to speak? And can you please, we've heard some awful details about possibly the extent of the damage done to her face. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, I want to get into, obviously I'm not a doctor. Obviously she's got injuries to her face. She was somewhat responsive. She couldn't talk. She was moving her hands. She was able to write. I spoke to her mother, who was there. Her mother, again, a lot of faith, a lot of strength in that family. But I was pleased to the responsiveness. But she's going to have a long road. We're going to be right there with her.
Can you say, sir, did she lose eyesight in one of her eyes?
No, I can't comment on that. It's too early to tell on that.
Chief, what about the weapons that you had? Did he purchase them legally, or are you all at that point of investigation yet?
Actually, yes, all his firearms were purchased legally.
What was that long gun? Didn't it have something, I don't know anything about guns, the round thing? Did he add something onto it? No.
A drum.
Yeah, no, I don't think it had a drum on it.
Oh, okay. And so back to the question though, is there any indication that he parks there knowing that officers go to that spot to just kind of wait out like the next call?
We don't know that yet. But that is one of the things. One of the things we're going to be looking at is seeing at GPS as an example to see if that's a place where the officer, we're creatures. Sometimes officers park in the same place,
Right.
And so we are going to look at that. But we don't have any indication that he knew that he was going to be there at this time.
Last question.
Did the handgun have a switch on it? Do y'all know of that?
No, we don't believe it has a switch on it.
Thank you, guys.
Chief, can you please just
Hold on, no, keep going. Go.
Oh, Chief, can you please speak? This young man was a teacher, and then he became a public servant in this capacity. I understand he loved his mom a lot. He had a special connection. Can you just give a little bit more of an insight as to what a wonderful human this young man was?
Well, a lot of that's going to come out, obviously as we start honoring him and the services, but no question. A teacher, he, an unbelievable friend. As I spoke to his mom, she said there wasn't a night that he wouldn't call her. And it's devastating. He was the individual, the type of individual that we want wear this uniform. And he was taken from us, well, too soon. Okay, thank you.
How you doing, man? How you
You
doing,
don't
man?
know, but I think you are just about the coolest dude ever.
Appreciate you,
And of
man.
course, they're all like, how do you know Smash the Topic? And I'm like, oh no, I watch this guy. And my favorite line about District 12 comes from you. I'm in far north Dallas.
Yes, that's exactly what I said.
You went to a shooting at Frankfurt and Midway. And you're like, I can't even believe it's still Dallas. So anyhow, that was my favorite one you ever did.
Yes,
But
ma'am.
I just,
Univision?
anyhow, I just wanted to say hi to you.
Yeah, he's
Okay, so okay.
And when we have the station on the bridge,
Sí, sí, claro, todo.
I'm like,
Es que estoy tratando de ver dónde están las cámaras. Sorry.
I'm like, that's so much cooler than you $1,000 not supposed to know Smash. And I'm like, oh no, we all watch him.
Thank you, man.
Anyhow, so I was glad to see you here. Don't put that.
Push up, bro.
I'm gonna get you. What size do you want? Okay, that's
Shout out to the city council. Hey, man. It's cold. It is cold, y'all. How you doing, man? It's cold, man. It's sad. Like I said. No, I got it. I'm talking to me. It's sad, guys. All I hear is good info, good positive news, positive info from the officer that lost his life. And it's sad. I'm finna get ready to end the life. I'm at the end of life. See, I'm tripping.